Hi everybody, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Pick a Card, the weekly daily. We're doing it midweek this week because I just got caught up in some stuff this weekend and now I'm ready to do it for you. However, on Monday, since I haven't been posting so many videos, I did a dedicated weekly reading on Tarot Talk, so you can go into the description or at the end of the video I'll do the click through, and I did an all sign reading for the weekly. That's a little channel so it doesn't get a lot of exposure, so that's why I'm mentioning it now. If you guys want to watch it, go check it out. I have a reading for every sign. I also started posting regular posts on Twitter again at Veroosh Tarot. My daily astrology and tarot thing is called the Daily-ish, so hashtag Daily-ish and you'll find it. And then on Instagram, so follow me there as well. So I'm excited to be back and have the space and availability to do more stuff with you guys. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options because there's 5 days of the week. So we choose an option for every single day of the week left. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You can choose the order and come back each day and get a little message for your daily astrology. Actually, daily tarot. There's no astrology. Today is the first day of Gemini season, so happy birthday, Geminis. And then on, what is it, Friday? No, Friday? Friday, Saturday, there's a new moon in Gemini, so we're going to have a lot of really good energy. I mentioned this on Twitter. Twitter is the really good place for bonus content. I'll put some stuff here in the community tab as well, but we'll keep it moving. Anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well. You should be feeling a little bit light and bright at this time. Especially if you're an air or fire sign, the energy is quite good for air and fire. The water signs might be a little bit more introverted, with the exception of Pisces this week. What else? Yeah, definitely air signs are on a high note, especially Gemini. Gemini is getting a really, really nice transit through it, even with the exception of Venus retrograde in Gemini. But we'll get to that in another video. Yeah, and earth signs, I mean, we're plugging along. Earth signs are plugging along. Scorpio and Cancer are brooding, maybe more reserved, more personal, although Scorpio has some really good love transits going on. So watch out, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And yeah, Libras and Aquarians really stick together at this time. There's like a really good synchronicity between your signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Basically, Aquarius becomes more reserved, a little bit more principled through this transit, and that will really coincide with Juno, the asteroid, in Libra, and they're forming a beautiful trine between them right now. There's a real kind of like no room for BS kind of energy that they can find with each other. So I just posted the relationship compatibility for July for Gemini season in the community tab and on Twitter. I know some people will get like, where's Cancer, where's Taurus? I picked the best sign astrologically. So rather to make it fit into some paradigm that everybody gets a best sign unique to them, I just literally told you guys where the best energy's at. And it happens to be that Gemini has very strong transits in it that will make it very compatible with at least 3 signs. Okay, so so yeah, hang in there. It doesn't mean your sign's not doing well. It just means you're not in the top for all the other signs. Okay, so now let's get right into it. Number 1, so you should have chosen a day of the week from Wednesday to Sunday this week. Your energy for number 1 is the skeptic. So skeptical, I like skepticism. I call my mom the skeptic because she's an atheist and I do this, and so her name is the skeptic. That's one of her nicknames that we have. And you know, skepticism is a good thing. It brings sobriety to the mind. It gives us an ability to assess what we're thinking. I think like unbridled idealism and like dogmatism is like the worst thing that a person can do to themselves and to the people around them. Let's see the next message. We have the Patience card. So remember, choose a day of the week. Sagittarian, card of temperance. I forgot it was temperance. Slowly assess what you have on hand, decide which thing that you want. You might be presented with a decision on this day, and you might take some time for it to develop. It might take some time for it to formulate, but I think by going slowly, you will see the light. This is the Sun card. You will be made happy by your discernment. So you're definitely facing something on this day in which you're deciding which way to go, how to think about it, what's the right path. And I feel like this has overflowed from other days, weeks, or months before, so this is nothing new. But you're definitely in some way taking an assessment of what you're facing, taking an assessment of what you're dealing with, and then rising it up to a higher level. Here is the next message, and that is blossoming, fulfillment of wishes, 9 of Cups. So you've made some right decisions and the outcome has been good. And it's that discernment that is keeping you sober-minded, and it's keeping you very focused on which direction to go, on what direction is best for you, and like what direction is best for you and what kind of results you want. Sorry, that's my speaker. Then we have the 4 of Swords. Yeah, definitely going slow, especially in the beginning. I don't feel like this is just this day, though. I feel like you've been in some way, how do you say, mulling over something for a while. You've been presented with an opportunity or a problem that would lead to an opportunity, so you're thinking about how to go forward with something. This might be within a relationship, deciding between different partners, trying to assess which direction or what person is the best person for you to connect with. Then we have the Lovers. Okay, that's great. So we have lovers, family, connections. I think that you're taking a step back from whatever situation you're experiencing. For some of you, this is definitely a conversation with someone else about feelings, taking a step back to figure out how you actually feel, what you want to say, and how are you going to say it. The next message is the 9 of Swords, which is the Mars in Gemini energy. Mars won't be in Gemini until, lordy, must be the end of the year, because there's going to be a retrograde period in Aries, so it won't be until the end of the year that he's here. I have a feeling that there's a decision that you're making that is, you're being presented with a lot of opportunities, but I think that you're really trying to figure out what's best for you, and I think that that's a good thing to do. Like you said, you see here, she's always kind of stressed out in every 9 of Swords card, but I think this is like an opportunity to stop the calamity, to stop the Tower from happening, stop the bad things from happening, getting a hold of yourself. It's like, you know, it does feel uncomfortable to take a hold of yourself and say, whoa, what's going on here? Do I really want this? It's better than facing a Tower situation. So I think that you're going to take a look at some things that seem really good on the surface, but I think you're going to see some undercurrents that are going to, in some way, need assessment. Careful process forward. You might be getting fed a lie from someone or something. So some group, or someone who you're dealing with might be trying to convince you of something and you catch it. So that skepticism that helps you to assess the situation. I think there's a lot of incentive there. It feels like a really good, idea. It feels like a really good promise, but it might be, that good promise or idea might have other things attached, and so go slowly. Things move fast during this energetic time in terms of the astrology. No matter what day you pick this week, things move fast. Once things are put into action, it just happens very, very quickly. It materializes very quickly. So just take it slow, one step at a time. Okay, so that's that. Now let's take a look at number 2. So choose a day of the week. Remember, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your core card for this is the Enthusiast. Okay, well that looks like a bright beginning. So enthusiastically moving towards something. With so much in air, and even with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, We are going to have a lot of enthusiasm. We're going to be very focused on ideas, you know, bright ideas. Neptune's in Pisces, Mars is in Pisces. And I've been talking about this Mars in Pisces deal, how it's like not necessarily as bad as it gets reputation for. I think a lot of people out there say that it's confused action, but I feel like it's action from the heart. It's words spoken from the heart. I think Mars in Pisces can actually convey very complicated topics to do with the emotions. I put a post on Instagram about how the emotions are intertwined with the intellect, and it's the same thing. Your emotional quotient is your intelligence combined with your like mental cognitive functioning, you know, so together they form the ability to think, and your emotions are just as valuable in your thinking as your intelligence or your rational thought is. So it is a time of thinking. It's, you know, those enthusiastic thoughts, those feelings, Mars and Pisces, it just, all those things do combine forward movement. It's a great time for you to jump by leaps and bounds and take the risks and see the possibilities. And the thing about it is, here, I will show you guys the chart. So this isn't the chart how it's set up for, here, I'll show it in the way that you guys usually see it. Okay, so when we're looking at this here, right, in Aries, we have Chiron with Lilith, and now they're separating away from each other. So that the nice thing about Lilith is when she leaves an aspect, right, because then we feel, ooh, like that pressure is gone, the scathing darkness, the intensity is leaving, you know, the influence of the energy, and just it's buoyant. Suddenly you have all these possibilities, suddenly you have all these different things. Four of Cups, you have the disconnect and boredom, being offered some kind of opportunity, being gifted something unexpectedly, an emotional break. You know, somebody's cutting you some slack, giving you a conduit to get something better. And I think that maybe this is like a little bit of hope. You see that little tower in the background, or the castle in the background. It's up for you to turn around and go in the direction that the rainbow's pointing you. See the rainbow? So I feel like, yeah, definitely be enthusiastic on this day. There's a lot of hope to be had. Sacral chakra. Well, there we go. So sacral chakra is a chakra associated with below the navel. It has to do with intimacy. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of things to be enthusiastic about. Now, this does not necessarily mean intimacy for everyone. This just means that life force energy, feeling the surge and the charge of making things happen for yourself, feeling passionate towards something coming up on this day. Conflict and defeat. I got this card for myself. I just pulled a card for myself. And, you know, I really like this deck. It's the John Holland deck, and you can see the people on the wall rising. And it seems like he's actually descending on the way down. But these figures on the wall, they're, you know, they're just figures. They're pictures, you know, memories, like hieroglyphs. And he's finding a candle at the bottom, and to me it's like he's taking a journey down to find something, maybe that some other people have missed behind, or maybe in the lineage of the story, maybe they all had to go down and find this little piece of something within themselves as well. So I feel like maybe you're finding something. That's how I felt about the card when I got it for myself. Maybe you're finding something like a new purpose in life, or something new you want to achieve. Then we have the Nine of Wands. So definitely on this day, I think that you'll take some time out. I feel like you're going to think by yourself about what you want. I feel like the ideas will brew, and from that you will kind of go after things that you want. Five of Wands. There's a little bit of doubt in your head on this day. Doubt in your head that you can make it happen. Maybe you feel like there's a lot of things up against you. There's a lot of fives. I mean, it's a 5, 5, and a 4. So there is this kind of you can almost do it if only you had a little bit more gusto, if you had a little bit more drive. Queen of Cups shows up whenever you feel sort of doubt. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, somebody's giving you good energy of support. You speak with someone, you share your mind, and she in some way kind of gives you that credit. Another download I think I had for this, when I kind of turn off, then I get massive downloads. Downloads are pieces of information. And follow me on Tarot Talk for, what did I call it? I called it Destiny Downloads. I had to change the name. But yeah, there's a really cool video on youtube.com/Tarot Talk where the all sign reading is, and there's something for you guys to check out there. But basically, I had the feeling about criticism, and the whole story that's relevant now is, criticism is great in order to reform ourselves, and we always have to be sober-minded, but there's also that part of it that, think about someone who's criticized you quite a lot in your life, maybe a teacher, a friend, maybe one of your parents, and was that criticism as an umbrella, is above everything they've said to you, even though maybe some of it was valid, was it actually truly defining who you were, and did it have the effect of holding you back from living even a more profound or greater experience? Because I feel like criticism is a power struggle oftentimes, although I do believe in criticism, editing, feedback, those kinds of things. I do feel that criticism often does more harm than good. And if you just believed in the possibilities, that's a very Queen of Cups energy. If you just believe in the possibilities, be enthusiastic about them, then you may be able to go further. Maybe you're reminded of that on this day. Okay, so now let's go to number 3. So again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's see your cards for this. So your energy for 3 is the Optimist. Okay, yeah, I'm expecting like an optimistic week. Optimistic, hope, kind of buoyant. The download for that is definitely, be buoyant, but watch yourself. It would be irrational and irresponsible for us to tell you just to go out and run and feel great and like nothing's happening. Huge things are happening, and we have to keep on reminding ourselves. I saw this meme, like, remind yourself that it is happening, and these consequences are going to roll in, so don't be dangerous with your life at this time, even if you feel better. And if you feel better right now, then enjoy the better, but don't do it in a way that will put your future in jeopardy, okay? So no big things, but enjoy the strawberries that you have, or a walk in the park if it's permitted, all those kinds of things. Try to do those, but try to always kind of keep abreast and remind yourself of the fact that we are still in a very serious crisis, and it's ramping up. Just because that's what happens in crises. After typically, when you I don't deal with crises, right? When people get readings and stuff, and my wait time is long, partly for the reason that crisis usually lasts about 6 to 8 weeks, and if it happens longer than that, then it's not a crisis. It becomes it should resolve itself. And then if it's lasting longer, like a personal crisis, mental health crisis, or whatever. And so if it lasts longer than that, then that becomes something else. So we're hardwired to kind of, our body's prepared to deal with about 6 to 8 weeks of crisis. And after that, we start feeling like, okay, it's blown over, or it's done. And that is a physiological reaction to the length of this. I mean, it's been 3 months, 4 months of this, 5 months depending on where you live. So it's been like, it's a real knock to the gut, and you mentally may be feeling kind of, disassociation from it, forgetting that it's happening or ignoring it. And that's healthy. Maybe you need a break as well, but also try to keep in your mind awareness that it's happening. Don't be avoidant in this situation, because you want to protect yourself and your family. And I just heard one of my clients had in Michigan, there was a dam that collapsed. So my love to her and her family. There's things going on top of this crisis as well. So my love and care to people in Michigan. I hope you guys are safe, and yeah, I hope you can figure things out. Okay, so let's go for, this is a message for someone. I'm just, just doing it, how it comes. So we have, and this was a very spontaneous sort of, I'll do this now for them. So we have Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune on this day. Good luck coming into your life, which what I'm seeing is good luck coming in this week. But I also see that as helping people ignore the foundation of what's going on. And I think it's really important. That's dangerous territory. When something good comes in and you just sort of, I'm saying that it's natural to focus on the good. That's a good thing. But you don't want to lose sight of the reality of things, right? So Wheel of Fortune, and I wish the good for everyone, you know, I really do. And so we have the heart chakra next. So something really good coming for your heart. Jupiter, the god of gods, right? Coming in with some kind of blessing. Jupiter's retrograde in Capricorn right now. Probably something to do with career. For some of you, this is like openness in relationships. If you've been wondering about, on this day is a good time to talk with people about how you're feeling for them. If you want to improve a relationship, if you want to fight a fight, improve on a fight, resolve something in an intimate connection, a breakthrough moment for love. I do feel like that's going on. Oh, there we go. Ace of Cups. I do feel like it's a bit of a blessing. So enjoy yourself, and if you are in a position where you're falling in love, it's a really weird time to fall in love, but also stressful situations bring people together. I think that in 2017, 18, we were all, a lot of people were criticizing about how cold things got, like how unsympathetic, lack of compassion, just cold in general the world was. And sometimes people start getting so pushed towards their own goals and ideals about money or status or trying to just survive, you know, fighting for their life in terms of work, that sometimes they get so focused on their goals and what they're doing that they start shutting people out, right? And so this is a day where, in this type of situation, sometimes makes people stop and just decompress and reconnect, and these possibilities can happen. You can fall in love in this. You know, I'm not going to do it because I'm really careful. I've heard horror stories with online and stuff, but some of you guys who are single, like, why not go online and chat with some people across the country? You know, just have that moment, flirtation. You don't have to hang out with them, but you know, that this is, a lot of people have extra time on their hands. So if you're single, why not put yourself out there just to make some friends at least, or, you know, socialize. And for some of you, you will find love. So it's, you know, connecting with other people may not always be in a physical space. Sometimes you'll have to do it online or some other way. Or maybe get in touch with someone that you already know, you know, through Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Okay, so we have the Temperance card, the Sagittarian card. Okay, so again, it's saying, this is coming up a lot, right? So careful, 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 slow, slow and steady. This is basically, you're doing fine this week, but I think that this is saying, like, there's a tendency to push, and with the Gemini sun just entering into Gemini, the North Node in Gemini, so this is the first time in almost 20 years, 18 years, that the sun and the North Node were in Gemini at the same time. That's not true. That's not true. Hold on. It is true. It is true. 18 years. Okay. So there's a tendency to push really far and really fast. And so, yeah, it's a pretty huge thing. I'll talk to you guys about the rest of that later, but it is a big push of energy. Venus is retrograde. And so on June 3rd, we're going to have like the sun's going to pass Venus. It's a wild, wild energy right now. So don't get overly ambitious, but like put yourself out there. And I know what people say, don't start relationships, but talking on the internet, you know, maybe do it after Venus retrograde. But this is saying that there is some kind of connection already happening. 10 of Cups, fulfillment of wishes. What Venus retrograde does is, when it happens, if you pick up a relationship or if you start a relationship, it has a tendency to end when Venus goes direct. So you might be feeling all this elation and I just don't want to hold people back from happiness, but I am getting the download that you guys should definitely brace yourself. Enjoy yourself, but don't be negligent. Don't be Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Secondary transits in water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I just feel like there's an openness, optimism. Get in the good stuff now in a relationship. So if you're already in a relationship, and really try to savor this time that you have together. New levels of understanding, trust. I just think this is a nice day for love. Nice day for love, nice day for opening your heart. A new relationship with an earth sign, possibly for some of you guys, for others a water sign. It can be any sign. I see even arrows, so that could be Sagittarius. See the little arrows behind her on her throne? And so we have Sagittarius here. So maybe it's Sagittarius, but it doesn't matter what sign it is. You'll know what sign it is. The important thing is here, which is the heart chakra, right? Opening up and getting people on the same page of what they want. And that's what I mean. Like, people get kind of run off their feet on a regular day. So with the crisis right now, it's uncomfortable, but at least they're staying put, and maybe through that, healing some social aspects. That computers especially, I had this talk with my dad who's on the computer, and he's not a computer guy at all. He's worked, in real life all his life. So, and he's so into the computer, and I'm like, Dad, it's addicting. I'm like, you gotta watch yourself. And he doesn't know it. It's like a person who doesn't drink alcohol, they can get drunk easily because they don't know how to moderate themselves. So my dad on the computer. And so all of us, we have had this long run of computers for 25 years. And so maybe this is going to give us an opportunity to get out of the workflow things and be like, whoa, wait a minute. I know many people are on the computer, but I'm saying, like, maybe some of us, our pace of life is slowing down. It's like, oh, there's other things in life besides those things that I'm doing, computers. A lot of people work on the computer and so forth. So it's a reassessment, and maybe on this day you're finding some nice things. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, okay. So number 4, not Monday through Friday, Wednesday through Sunday. Okay. And the reason I did this number 4 is because I had several requests saying they really like this reading, and I really like it too. I think it's a nice little daily reading, and it's just I really like it. I watch it every day. So okay, so we have the free spirit. Okay, that was some heavy channeling there, Veroosh. Okay, calm down. All right, so we have the material prosperity. So Venus in Virgo, having achieved everything that you want. You see, I don't know if it's setting or I think it's rising. The sun is rising, or the moon is rising in front of you. Just like you're coming into fruition on this day, and that's allowing you to kind of set your wings apart and fly. I have a beautiful picture of an eagle that I'll show you guys on Instagram. Sacrifice, okay? Some delays. I feel like on this day you feel like you're ready to go, but there's going to be delays, or there's going to be some things that you have to be patient about, and moving on. 6 of Swords. I feel like, no, I feel that I sense in this is very much a day in which you're waiting. I feel like you have everything you need to really enjoy yourself at this time, but there are circumstances around you that may delay that. You're not so free to make things happen as you would do on a regular day. And so I think that there's this level of coming to peace with that. And it's hard for those of us who work really hard to put our ambitions and our goals on the shelf. When you're go, and you work really hard, and then there's a sudden stop. It's a place of humility to slow down and say, okay, I'm going to release my attachment to the things that I've achieved. I'm going to release my attachment to the things that are mine, because in some way I come to realize that there is, a bigger a bigger picture here of what's going on that goes beyond me. That doesn't mean that you're losing your everything you've earned. I think on this day you're being asked to wait. You're being asked to kind of hold your horses with your ambitions, and yeah, just wait a little bit. And that's a letting go in and of itself, the waiting, because I'm an impatient person. I'm like, I want to do this now, no waiting, let's not waste time. I count minutes. I'm very, very much like that. And so, yeah, it's like, it is a very, like, you're being told on this day to, basically you get it. You get what you want. It's just you may not be able to choose when. Wheel of Fortune. So there's a turn of the luck in your favor. And that's why your instincts say go. Your instincts say go for it. But then there's this kind of like, but there's some things that you have to work around. You have to wait for some things to come in. Maybe you're waiting for feedback from someone. Maybe you're waiting for something to actually help what you're trying to achieve. And then you have the Four of Wands. So happiness in the home. I think a lot of us are being sustained by relationships, and watch number 3, the last one that I did in this video. And I kind of explained that basically, that again, it's our social relationships sustain us through the times that in which there's like our interpersonal relationships sustain us, at which time it's harder to access the social. So our friends and family sustain us when we can't connect and interact as freely with our acquaintances, right? So, the cashier that you see at the grocery store, so with whom you've talked to for 5 or 6 years, you can't see her and have that little chat, and as little as it is a part of your life. So you kind of focus on the people who are closer, with whom you have connections. And there's lots of different secondary relationships that you're just not having at this time. And so it is very much like, okay, your instincts want to move towards something. There's delays. You're waiting for things to come in. But then there's family and love that's supporting you as you wait for the right time. And it's coming. It's just everything's kind of working more slowly these days. Okay, so last but not least, number 5, pick a day of the week for this day, and I'm going to post this right away for you guys to see. Okay, so your personality for this day is the organizer. Hey, Virgos! No, I'm just kidding. Some people do choose just one. So if you're a Virgo that chose 5, hi, Virgo. How's it going? The organizer. Okay, getting your ducks in a row. I think I said this to Pisces on Twitter as well. So I said to Pisces, like, you've got your ducks. Pisces is riding high right now. Really good energy for Pisces. And I feel like Pisces gets a shout out because it's like, the next 5 years, 6 years, you're like on the up and up. I do feel like you're a major upswing, Pisces, so look forward to that. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, the triumphant success. Triumphant success, positivity. Let's see, 2 of Cups. So I just feel like I said to Pisces, and I'll say this to all of us, it's like you get your ducks in a row and it's time to invite others over. I do feel like some things have come into some kind of order, and that order, whether you've actually organized it to be such or if it was an interaction of you and somebody else's energy, is coming into fruition on this day. And I feel like you'll hear from someone, you'll receive information from someone. There might be some kind of confirmation between 2 people. Let's see the next message. We have the 3 of Swords. It's communication about the sweet and the difficult. I feel as though some people come closer because I feel like the man in the relationship has a broken heart. And I do feel like he's come, so, like I said in an earlier option, I'm not going to tell you which one just to not spoil it, but it is the difficulties of these circumstances that are bringing people together. People are getting a hold of themselves. People were so ambitious, right? And so many people got hurt through the ambition of others. The worst thing is ignorance and ambition mixed together. And things like Instagram make that completely a viable thing where you can just say anything you want, and if you put a pretty picture in, you get validation. So the stupidest people can rise really far in this kind of environment. It's a very Roman energy as opposed to like a Grecian, academic one. So we're a lot of social scientists, I think I heard this on ContraPoints, and I really agreed with her on that, is that we're in the phase of Rome, and we are in like this Roman conquest, beating our chests, and like a very superficial sort of energy collectively. We have all this information around us, but most of us don't know how to process it, or it's just such information overflow that those of us who do just get swallowed up in it. So what I'm saying is that the pace is really fast, organization, that I feel like I'm trying to give those of you who are like watching this is probably a message for you, that this man who's coming back into your life, for some of you it will be a woman, but that I'm kind of making a case on why you should consider, Venus retrograde. I heard someone say that it's not a good time to take someone back. I think this is all about closure. So for some of you, you will finalize your relationships with people, but for others, this will be about, there's someone who you've missed who comes back in to heal a wound with you. I mean, people make mistakes in their youth or in their ignorance or being swallowed up, as I said, being overwhelmed. So I think someone got a hold of their ego and like realized that, they've made some mistakes and that they're missing out. And what's worse is turning them away, in that if they're coming at you in that state of humility, with their kind of realization that they're making a disruption to a good relationship and good relationship with you, I think that you become culpable when you turn them away, because your chances of getting a certain vibration with another person are difficult. It's difficult to find such a good alignment. So if you found someone like this, turning them away makes you culpable to that energy. So you have to make the best decision for yourself. But what I'm trying to do is sort of make I'm almost like the advocate for your ex-partner. I'm like, geez, they really feel bad about it. I can really sense that, so maybe consider it. But with Venus retrograde, it is true that you may want to wait until, like, it could sort of give you a bit of a little bit more hope, or maybe there's something you're not seeing that they're not saying to you. So we'll talk about that more later. Two of Pentacles. Okay, so again, some things are changing. It's really challenging. This day is really challenging you to change your mind on something, or at least consider it. You will be spending this day thinking about whether another path is better than the one you're on. I think that's great. I think that reflection is a perfect thing to get you. An unreflected life is not worth living. That's a quote of, I don't remember who, but yeah. So we have the Five of Swords. Okay, so yeah, there was a real misunderstanding or a misconnect with you and someone else. I feel as though somebody was immature in the past. There was just a misconnection, like a lack of connection. They just didn't open up. When you try to talk to someone and they just won't talk to you to discuss an issue, just to perpetuate it. It's like, why? I'd never understand that. It's like, yes, talk about it. Let's finish it. Figure it out. But I think in this situation, it was more reactive than there was no capacity here to address the issue before. And so something fell apart. One person got really left high and dry. And I feel like maybe there's something coming back in with an apology or sincerity. And see, their Sun. We got this all over the chart this week as well. So you have the Sun, positive energy, hope, and growth. And so you got to figure out if that's right for you. And remember, whenever I see sunflowers, it reminds me of one of my favorite poems by Allen Ginsberg, The Sunflower Sutra. And in the darkness, sunflowers grow, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes, like in the poem, they're covered by soot from the locomotives that Ginsberg and Kerouac are seeing, but even underneath, they're still beautiful sunflowers. So there may be something redeemable for you in that situation. Okay, sorry for the babbling ramble. Have a nice day, you guys, and let me know in the comments if you like the all sign reading more, if you like this one more. I don't know if I should do two. I think that's a bit overkill, but I like this one. I don't want to let it go, but it seems like a lot of people like the all sign reading. So I created Pick a Card and the all sign reading. So both of those are mine, and everybody else is doing my reading, but that's another day. It's another conversation. In the meantime, go check out the all sign reading weekly I did. Go check out my Twitter. Go check out my Instagram. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.